Right, legend. Good evening. Can everybody hear me? I'm on a different computer today, so just making sure the settings are correct. I think I fiddled around with them a bit too much and I missed it. But yep. Can everybody hear me? And what chart can you see? While I get everything else sorted. Hello, Democryptus. Don't know that Russian name, but hello, Felipe. Okay. Audio working? Yep. Just confirming. Okay. Hi, Chase. Right. So let me get the necessities out the way with. How is everybody's weekend going? You all smashing Bitcoin? Everybody bought the low, right? Everybody here should have bought the low. No excuses. And sold the high. So welcome to the weekly live Bitcoin update video. Before we start, just want to say thanks to our sponsor PrimeXBT for making this happen. You can show them some appreciation by signing up to their platform using the link in the description. If you use the code TraderSZ, you'll also get a 50% deposit bonus. Finally, just a reminder that nothing discussed today constitutes financial advice, and you should always do your own research before doing any kind of investing or trading. Okay, I don't know why, I think I messed with the setting and I've delayed the delay. Well, I've messed with the delay thing, but it doesn't matter as long as you can all hear me. Okay, like the video, subscribe, that's all good. Okay, so let's go over last week's plan first, and we'll go over what I've got for this week. Okay, so and maybe go over Atom or maybe one more alt. Okay, so let me get my pen tool. Shit, no, we're done with it. Okay, yes, like the video, please. So last week, what was the date? Let me just double check the date. It was the 14th, right? So it was the 14th down here, and there was two plans I was talking about. Okay. One was a breakout plan. One was the breakout plan, and I said I wasn't really comfortable with the plan here with these lows intact, if you remember. Okay, and I said ideally what I would like is some sort of breakout above here. I've not touched any levels. Okay, let me quickly go over that, and we'll do others. Yeah, maybe do that as well. Yes, okay. So one was that for a trigger. The one I was looking for, and I said, when the new week starts, to price in the wick of the weekly candle, okay? To price in the wick, we get a stop run. And we got that stop run there, so all these levels are described in previous videos. We got that stop run. Once you're reclaimed, you got your trigger, you got your invalidation level, and you obviously got your targets, and so on and so forth. And then I said, if you wanted to reload on that, okay, what you did is, once it reclaims this level, makes a clean break above here. What happened was I actually did a small long previously. I actually did what was it here, and I had to cut it early, so I took a small loss on that, trying to chase the breakout of this, and then I waited personally. Once it deviated, so this level here, that was a deviation level, right? And once you reclaim that this time, just a bit of trend line if you want to use confluence. Ever since then, shut up. So that's all in last week's video. Okay, don't need to repeat that, but I just want to click over it. Did any of you find that useful last week? So ever since then, it's just gone a lot further. Okay, now let's go back, right? What did we do this week? Okay, if you remember, one of the most important things I spoke about last week was I said let's compare two price behaviors. So one was, do you remember, is last week's chart. This was the other chart we were looking at, and I said let's see how price behaves. Is it going to be one of those breakouts where this one was previous all-time high, we broke out, we didn't exactly get retest. If you're going looking at resistance become support or whatever, this would have been perfect. So I said we could possibly get this, okay, when it was down here, and we got that, didn't we? Okay, so sort of going along the path, and this is why you have to, I personally have to have a breakout plan ready if it doesn't come down to the exact level I want it to, because it doesn't have to retest it there. So having that in mind, let's go over and say, okay, I mean, I'm not a fan of fractals, but what I do is where I want to mark out a new price discovery, a possible high in the market, this is how I do it. Okay, or a possible sort of resistance level, I'll mark it out. If I do get some sort of reaction off of there, I know that's going to be some sort of barrier. Okay, so if you remember back when I did this video back in December, January time, okay, remember when I said I had a level there that was the floor? If I go back, is it on this chart? No, I think it's on a different chart. Okay, there was a floor here. Okay, yeah, here. How did I get that? Let's do it now. So while price breaks above new all-time high, right, I'm watching this and I'm saying, okay, but I would not know this would have been high. Okay, maybe some sort of options or fib extensions or some sort of TA analysis, whatever. Doesn't matter. This is how I do it. So before that was happened, this is what I'm gonna do. So we'll do it beforehand before it happens. From there, and what I'm doing is I'm marking out the midpoint. Okay, when I get some sort of significant reaction, then I step in. So at that point, that midpoint gave me a reaction, right? Now I don't know this at that point. Just that once I got the reaction, this is one way of doing it. Whether it works or not, I don't know. But this, regardless, that would be an SR level regardless. So then I wait and see. Okay, is it being respected? And then it gets respected there, more or less. Okay, remember this now. So what I'm gonna do is do the same thing here. Okay. So this was a key level for us. So this midpoint ended up being the range low or the floor for the market. And we spoke about why this level was important. If you remember the videos back in those days, if you go back to the dates I did these videos, that was a level we expected to cap the market. The reason why I'm doing this is I'm going to do the same thing again if I can. If I can get a level that can cap the market to the downside, and then because it's going, it's hard for me to form a range. Okay, it's only once price has unfolded. Okay, and then once it's proven itself to me that, you know, as a range high and range low or mid range, then it's easy to work with. But before that's happened, I've got to do all these things the way I trade anyway. So let's do the same thing again. So the key is finding the midpoint, right? The good thing, it hasn't happened yet. So we're doing it live together. We get this, and I'm just looking for a level of reaction, and I think this is similar. Okay, something similar to this. So I'm getting some sort of reaction out of that. I mean, this is too close to grind. And then officially, if I look at the daily, why do I like that high? Look at the daily, okay? That's the high. That's once it's like, you know, broken out to this grinding price action, isn't it? So consolidation here. And then there's the pop, okay? Now watch this. So what I'm going to then do is, this is going to be a potential floor. Okay, a potential. I'm not saying it is or not. A potential floor. Then we're going to use both charts that I've got before and confluence each other and start drawing up maps. So this level here, so let's draw it out in different color. So we're mapping it, okay? Is everybody with me so far? Or am I just like going on and I'm probably thinking, what the fuck is he on about? Is everybody with me so far? I haven't gone over the exact trigger plans yet. I'm just leading up to the point what my thought process is. Okay? That's what I'm doing. And a possible high, I'm not saying a possible high, but if that's an equal measured move, then that's going to be a high. I'm going to do that in a light color, okay? And the funny thing is that lines up with a 200% extension. See this here? The range I used back in December, January time, okay, sort of lines up with that, which I find interesting. And this level here lines up, if I was to draw a straight line, lines up with here, which was a SR flip on its own, okay, sort of. So just to keep in mind, just keep that in mind, okay? You can see this is how I'm projecting. I've got nothing else to work with when I'm in price discovery, so this is a bit hard, but I don't train a later range. Okay, so just bear with me. So let me do that in a smaller shaded color. Okay, so that's done now. So I'll sort of get rid of these lines now. Just keep what I need. So what I'm gonna do is this is one range, and so yeah, above January's high. So this, I'm thinking this becomes one range, okay? Just like here, this became one range, okay? And this was the second leg. So when we broke above previous all-time high, okay? When we broke above previous all-time high, we had this leg, right? This was the big leg, the main leg. This is halfway point, and that's not halfway point, but two ranges. I'm thinking of the same thing here, okay? If it is going to be, this is one part of the move, and this is the second part of the move. Okay. So let's go back to our charts, right? Okay, keep that in mind, what I've just said. Go back and say, okay. See, we're never guaranteed this. We never know, nobody's going to know. But so from a price action point of view, these were our fib extensions, and these fib extensions have proven themselves, okay? Fib extensions, if they're not proven themselves, I'll get rid of them. If at the time they are, and in these ones they have been, I'll keep them in. So we've already sort of started to make a floor here with this low there. And it's proven itself there. So I'm going to focus more on this chart now, so we don't really need that. So I've done all the work as to where, and I like the fact that where we've got here is sort of creating an area for possible deviation for me. So what we've got here now is, initially when this happened, I wouldn't know if this would have been a low or not, okay? A significant low. It's only once it proves itself, then I know. So now I'll go down, okay? Yes, 47 likes and 240 of you. Come on, man. Start liking the video. Will we see 3K above? I mean, keep praying, you might see 3K, I don't know. Yes, like the video, it helps the YouTube algos. So that's the floor, key floor. Okay, so that's that. Right, now we're starting to pull a picture together. So now I know, right? So if everybody with me, now I know, okay, based on that, this is key SR on its own merit. This was the consolidation that really busted up above. So, which lines up with our mid-range level we've just, derived. So that's an area, a key area for me. So what I would say, okay, similar to last week, okay, remember last week? Go back to last week. Where did I want to take along? Okay, take out these lows, and then if it deviates back above, that's my long, at least towards a key high probability target as a range level to level play. And if it breaks out, then we spoke about the extension levels, right? Let's do the same thing now. My plan would be, okay, we've identified that. Okay, if there's going to be stops resting here, so I'm going to start off with the pullback plan. Okay, the pullback plan is going to be, that's where the obvious stops are going to be resting. Possibility of spiking towards here, this area here. So if we get something like, I don't know, same as last week, spike it lower, at least take out it. Does it have to touch this? Okay, I want this to cap the market. Okay, and then if it gets back above reclaims, then what is a range high that we've started to establish? We've already started to establish a range high, haven't we? Here. Okay. Can I be a bit more conservative with that high? That's fine with me. So that would be a level to level play back for me. Exactly the same as last week. Is that clear? I don't use RSI, so for me, I don't know if you want to pay attention to it. Others use it very successfully. I just never look at it. Okay, is that clear? Scenario 1. So I have no reason to be bearish until proven otherwise. I'm not talking about little scalps, intraday, rain band plays. I'm talking about this. Plus, if I want to say in a bull market, it's high probability for longs, these setups. So is that clear? Run of the stops into the key level. Whether it touches that or not, it doesn't matter, okay? And then reclaim just like last week, okay? Once we reclaim last week, that was the long, okay? No, it was lower down, sorry. Or that there. Is that everybody clear with plan 1? So that's plan 1 if we do get the deep pullback trigger. We never know. That's why I have to plan for it. Like last week, if I hadn't planned for the deep pullback trigger last week, I would have missed it. I wouldn't have got this, okay? And Bitcoin being Bitcoin can easily do that when the new week starts. What about the breakout plan? Now, I'm not comfortable with the breakout plan just yet, okay? I mean, it's just been going on and on and on. But okay, my next objective is going to be here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this up into a half and say, okay, can I see any significance here? Let me just look. I'm splitting this up into a half. I don't know yet. I haven't done this. And more or less this yet. I'm going to refine this. I'm going to draw this as my mid-range. What is that mid-range level? It's going to be the level, okay, between the high that we've established, and most importantly, has market proved to me, is showing me a significance around it? Yes, it has. Here, it's more. It's giving more of a deviation area, really, more than anything. So if I look at this right now, so that's the range high SR. It deviates it. Once it gets back below it, pushes back below, deviates it. Natural SR. You can see that holding here. So that's the midpoint. So what I've done now is I've split the range up, okay, into 2 parts. One is, now if you find this boring, it's not for you, okay? This is just the way I do things, okay? The way my mind sees the market and in ranges and SR building. And what I'm trying to identify is where am I going to be wrong? Where am I trading with invalidations? That's what I'm doing, okay? I'm thinking out loud. So that's why I split it up into this. I've identified as my deviation area, okay? Wicks into there, and that would be a level to level play towards the mid range. And then so now that I've identified, this is my second half of the range. And you all know how I've derived this level. So what if we get a breakout scenario? Now, I don't want to take it at this time. It's towards the end of the week. Usually end of the week, I mean, this may work out. If I was to take a long day, if this was the new week, right? Monday start, we go with this, I'd be long right now, this, okay? I'd cut on a clean break below here. But that same setup is not high probability for me on a Sunday night when the market's about to close. It may work, may not work, but the probability is not as high. So I'd rather wait for the new week to start. I'm hoping this is a deviation now, okay? However, so if the new week starts, I mean, I'm looking at this and saying, okay, what do we have to work with on a daily basis? Let's look at daily highs. So that's a high there taken, yes. So where the stops can be resting, I say here. So say the new week starts, what I want to see is, okay, that's the first high, this is the first high formed post breaking that high out, okay? So what I want to see is, if we get some sort of work, say the new week starts, the short term starts going to be resting there. So the new week starts, okay, if we don't get the scenario 1 on the break below here, then it's going to be, it takes this out, Now I'm watching this level and say, okay, if it based on invalidation and based on range bound environment, okay, so resistance back into range low, if this is gonna go down, and say if I was bearish, I'll be wrong here, right? Okay, and obviously I'd expect naturally a range bound play back towards the range lows. However, in the bullish environment, I wouldn't expect that. What I would want to see is either I'm gonna wait for a clean break below here and reclaim and then go for the long, or pattern failure. So this is a key resistance for me right now, because I mean, how far is it gonna deviate? If it does this and then reclaims back above, which I'll show you an example fractal of, then that says to me that's a very bullish market. And the fact that it shouldn't go above here, this already is a deviation as it is, okay? It shouldn't go back above there. The second time up above that and it holds, that says to me the market is very bullish. That will be my invalidation level, targeting towards here next, and then after that I'll start marking that targets in a minute. But is that clear? So this would be the breakout continuation plan. If it follows this plan where it takes out the stops here, okay, that's where the liquidity is resting. I don't know, okay, how deep could be here, okay, and then immediately gets back above, that would say to me that hang on a minute, market is rejecting it. And a clue to that, the way that looks like, it's trying to show you price action, how that looks like would be like here. So here, see this here, it ran these highs, right? So here, imagine this, hang on a minute, why don't we fix this? Imagine this here, and this is all happening at key level. That's our key level there, okay, there, here. Now at this point, if it was going to go low, it shouldn't come back above there. Once we reclaim that level and hold, and that's where you look for your trigger. So if it's nearly exactly the same actually, so if it does happen and then reclaims that, then that will be my trigger towards the target I mentioned. Is that clear? So this PA here will be the trend continuation I'm looking for. Main thing is the context based on what I'm saying, okay? Is that clear for everybody? Okay, let's go on to more higher time frame objectives now. If it's really gonna go for it, okay. I mean, it's kind of hard, but okay. So I've already marked out one objective like that. What I can do is, I mean, that's my main objective. After that, if it's really gonna go for it, I don't know. But one way of doing it is fib extensions. Yeah. What I'll do is 200% extension. Okay. So we've got objectives towards here as well. I kind of like this area here, to be honest with you, but we'll see. And that would just be a copy of this range pushed up forward. I think this be a mega level. This be an area to keep a close eye on. Okay, okay, that's that done. So is everybody clear with Bitcoin? That's all I've got for Bitcoin. Okay. Is everybody clear? I'll quickly do Atom. Why would I not be serious about Atom? Why? I'll go over Atom quickly, but I don't see why I wouldn't be serious about that. Why not? What's wrong with that? Okay, so is everybody clear with that plan? That's all I've got for Bitcoin. Okay, so one is yes, I'll do Atom and then we'll end the stream. So one is the pullback play and trade continuation. And just a quick round up. Okay, what if it does do the full pullback play? Pullback, whatever it's gonna do. Long target 1. Okay, if it comes down, starts rejecting, I'll cut it. Then I'll wait for the next breakout play above that, target 2, and possibly, I mean, extended targets toward there. Okay, done. That's more or less it, basically. Okay, I did say I'll do dot. Okay, so I'll keep my promise, and I'll do that. We'll do Atom first. Okay, Atom. Where's my Atom BTC chart gone? Shit, 1 second. Where's it gone? Where's it gone? Yeah, let's just get it off here. Atom BTC. Okay, so Atom BTC, this to me looks a bit like Rune. If you look at Rune, right, Rune looks very similar, but bigger picture bullish, fundamentally solid. Okay, I'm not going to go into the reason fundamentally solid. Go look at yourself, guys. What I do is, listen, I'm not a fundamentals guy, but I use people's knowledge that are good at fundamentals and say that. Okay, so use their expertise, and if it lines up with my views, happy days. So I mean, what I'm expecting is the easy cut breakout play would technically be what's the level capping the market to the upside is going to be this level here. As you can see, that's a deviation. So whatever happened, if you didn't get onto towards this will be a breakout play above here. Okay, bullish. Anywhere within here for me is accumulation. So if it ever comes down towards the range lows, I've already started accumulating here already. Okay, but yeah, so I'm expecting some. I mean, now that we've taken out these lows here, I'm expecting, I don't really want to see a break below here, so any pullback around this region, something like that. Okay, so yeah, if it comes down to here, that'll be loading. I already loaded here. If it comes down to here, it's another second chance. Other than that, you can add on to the breakout, okay, if you wished. Okay, so that's basic play, and that was that. And how I got the objectives, well, just get that 200% extension out, isn't it? Get that high to this low, and that's, oh fuck, don't know what's going on with my tool today. And that's more or less the 200% extension. Okay, 127.2 there, I think there. Okay, that's that part done. Let's quickly go on to Atom USD. Now, if you look at this, what's going on? Just as a further confluence. I mean, so we've got that last week's high, because that's the resistance we're working with. No, I'm not going to do loads of those. Don't start going in requests. I ain't going to do it. Just going to do this and that, because I promised I would do that. And I don't think .USD is a bit hard for me right now where it's at. Okay, it's hard to, I mean, but .BTC I can do that. So this is last week's range. So far this is considered a deviation. If we're correct, if I'm correct anyway, maybe a pullback. I mean, this is already key support. Does it have to come in here? No, not necessarily. Why? Because this was technically a range already. Okay, this was just a deviation of a range reclaim, so it doesn't really have to come towards there. But if it does, happy days. So two ways of playing the breakout here. One is we come towards just basically this consolidation, in my opinion. Coming towards here. Okay, we need to hold below last week this low here. If this low gets smashed, then I think deeper pullback, then I'm wrong. So scenario one, I'm happy to load up here. This is probably a long-term spot play, okay? And then I'd cut it on a clean break below here, and I'm looking for at least about $50 target, okay? If it comes into here. Scenario two is the breakout play. If I get that, so what would be the breakout play? The basic trendline breakout. But what's capping the market? What's capping the market is, I'd say, this level here, okay? And yeah, so bit of confluence between a trend line and a line doesn't really matter. The fact is, what is the weekly looking like? When it's above here, what is the weekly looking like? That's the key thing. So this is the main consolidation area. That so far is a deviation. Is this a deviation? Who knows? Possibly, could be. Who cares? But once it breaks back above that, and the context wise that we're looking back bullish for the week, that would be the breakout play for me. Target up. If I want to play short-term objectives, what would I do, or how would I do that? Let's see. Just use the same technique I'm using each time. Yep, about 29.5ish. I could just keep doubling that really. Where have I got belong to? Yeah. So targets, I mean, there's many ways of doing it, but I think we go a lot higher. Let's take this leg. I mean, literally, there's loads of ways of doing it. I think I'm aiming for about $50 target personally, but yeah. 29.6, 33.65, 38. These are just short-term objectives. I'm sure the other ways of doing it is, I mean, if I'm expecting Atom BTC to break out, okay. If Atom BTC comes into resistance here and starts breaking down, then I'll start looking at Atom USD as my start scaling up. So for me personally, I mean, the only reason I'm marking at targets is people asking for it. But for me, I'm just gonna hold it and see how it goes, because this is a long-term play for me. You understand? So that's why, I mean, I don't really want to mention targets, but if I have to, just that. Okay, so that's a long-term spot play for me mainly. .BTC, okay, what do we do here? So it's finally one I'm gonna call it a day. So mega, I mean, I did quarter the move here, so nobody had excuse to miss out here. You guys remember? Type in .BTC on my Twitter feed, you'll see better posted along there. Okay, so now what do we do? Okay, let's mark our range high. Oh no. No, this is gonna be my range high. There, that's a better level. That's capping the market better. So okay, let's establish ourselves. So this is here. So let's work backwards. Where do I not want market to go? Key thing. I have no thoughts on ZTC. Don't trade it. Never have. I don't want it to go below these lows here. So this must cap it. Okay. So if I'm saying that my invalidation is a clean break below here, then I'd probably have a hard stop there. So working back, so that's that done. Now target wise, how could I do it? Get that high, get that low. Let's work backwards and say, oh, we can see that the 127.2 is getting respected. So what we do is mark out the next objectives. There, I think we've reached at least towards the 200% there next. Okay, there. So now that that's getting respected, now it's time to bring in the plan. Ultimately, I'm aiming towards the upper boundary. So any pullbacks here, okay. and that's a long. I'm wrong. I'd cut on a clean break below here. Trigger, target, target. Is that clear for .BTC? And why this is the boundary? Yep. Front was a nice one. Front. I'll go front. I'm just excited about front. I wasn't expecting that. I got into front. I think yes. I don't know. It could be. Yeah. I was hoping coming back. Maybe we're getting right down here. Getting really low on this. I got a really good market price at this. Yeah. Okay. So like the video, subscribe to the channel. Use the link in this description. It really does help. So just check them out. Use my link in the description. It's supposed to stream. So if you enjoy the streams, share the video. Okay, you can click share somehow there. It does support it, and hopefully if you do like it, we can continue doing this. Okay, take care, and I'll catch you guys next week. Bye bye.